Hey, it's the DETOUR.
My hair looks like Meg Ryan's. Ugh. Gotta try new things. Try new things all the time. Gotta keep things interesting, keep things fresh. I will say that I did something last night that I have not done in a long time, and this is gonna seem really minuscule for people, but for me, this is a very, very big deal. And I think it's something that people can relate to, and I think that someone out there needs to hear this. So I'm going to put this out there. So this entire week has been preparing for my lady to move up. We've been getting new furniture. We've been taking care of financial things, all the stuff that comes with that to make sure that we're as ready as possible. One of the things that we did was that we ended up getting a new coffee maker, and the old one was just bad. Like, you'd open it up and there was like a science experiment happening on the inside of the reservoir, like it's just, oh God. I'm sure that I've probably contracted some diseases that I don't even know about because of that old coffee pot, because it was really gross. It makes you wonder whether or not the flavor of coffee is actually the flavor of coffee or if it's something else. But either way, it's awesome to have a new one, and I remember looking at it and thinking, man, it's sleeker, it's cleaner, it's better. I think I'm gonna go ahead and make coffee for tomorrow morning, which is something that I have not done in a long time. I am a terrible morning person. I can barely function. Sometimes it's one of those that I have to literally drag myself out of bed at the last minute and try to get my day going, and it makes me irresponsible with things. It makes me lazy, when ultimately I shouldn't, because I should be able to be up at a reasonable time to be able to get my day started. And it's on the weekends too. I mean, definitely it's easier to get up on weekends than it is before a work day, but it doesn't change the fact that I sometimes stay in bed much longer than I should, and it's become a problem before. A lot of that had to do with depression. A lot of that had to do with I didn't want to deal with what was around me. But the beautiful thing is now is that I'm not hopeless. I am loved. I've always been loved by the people that are around me, but it's very much having that ability to truly open your eyes and look around you and appreciate what you have. I've had nothing but severe blessings for the past year, and it has been so incredible, but so many times I find myself getting back into a groove of negativity. I find myself getting back into a groove of worrying about things when I shouldn't. Now, mind you, the majority of this is very short-lived, but in the same hand is that those things still surface, those things still happen. And I will say this, is that changing the house has helped a lot. It has been one of the most therapeutic things ever to know that my old life is behind me and my new life is ahead of me. Something as simple as getting rid of the old stupid couch that I had in that living room, and it's no longer there. It was out to the curb and the trash guys took it. Like, there were so many bad memories on that couch that I couldn't deal with it anymore. I didn't want to have that anymore. So I've made some efforts to make sure that I'm changing my environment around me. I also have very selective OCD. It's one of those that I love organizing things. Anything that I can get my hands on that will either help me or make something fun or easier down the road. I almost kind of felt like I had everything figured out, that there was just a new process now to things, and that I really didn't have to change much because I changed so many physical things around me. But waking up was still the issue. Waking up and trying to be lively, trying to be alert, and trying to understand that my time is limited on this planet. Why can't I wake my ass up in the morning? Why is it so difficult? Now, I know that also stems from a history of when I did drink too much and when I would be hungover constantly. And once I stopped doing that, that's when I realized, oh my God, I feel better. I'm not, I'm not nauseous in the morning. I'm not dehydrated. I'm not weak. I'm not mentally checked out. But even then, getting rid of that, it has been such an issue to try to wake up. And I honestly, I was getting fed up. I was getting really worried. And it's something I never really vocalized, but I thought to myself, man, how am I going to get myself under control? How am I going to be able to actually focus on what I need to do and just make sure that my ass is out of bed by the latest 7:15 every morning? Setting my coffee last night and prepping it for this morning made me wake up in the most peaceful way that I have in a long time. Now, I usually wake up on the phone with Crystal and we start our morning together, and it's always the best way to wake up. But it was still just being in that fog and just not being able to get out of it. The second that I smelled that coffee, it ripped me out of it, and I thought to myself, no, get up. You need to get up. Now, I will say this, it was not the most graceful walk to the coffee machine, and I got to go up a flight of steps to get to it. I sat down, I finally was able to sip on my coffee, take my time, and plan my day, and think about what I was going to do. And this may be so trivial for people, and some people may look at this and think to themselves, yeah, you're just a lazy ass. Yeah, you're right, I am. But in the same hand, I'm trying to do something different with it. I'm trying to make it better. I'm trying to get myself out of bad habits. I'm trying to make every day better than the previous. Sometimes you just need to set your coffee. Sometimes you just need to make a change. And sometimes one thing, changing just one thing, can be the difference. All I did was pour water into the coffee maker, put in some grounds, and set the time for 6:35. That's all that I did. And then I was able to set it and forget it. So I know for a fact that I'm going to make a declaration for myself to make coffee and set coffee every night for the following morning. And that's a change I know for a fact that I need to make in my life. And even do it on weekends too, except I'll set it a little bit later, not too much. Because we all can agree that a day that we know for a fact that we can sleep in is the best. But for the most part, we got to be alert and we got to be awake. Life is happening. You don't want to miss it. Set your coffee for the morning, whatever that is for you.